Let's talk about sustainability. I'm here with Tony from Cobalt Systems on PPMA TV. Last time we spoke, probably around about this time last year, you were talking about the direction of travel for what it is you're doing, and this year you are putting your money where your mouth is one way of putting that. I'm sure there's more polite ways of putting it. Tell me about what we're looking at behind us and how that is embodying this more sustainable vision that we've spoke about before.
Sure. Well, for the last couple of years, we've been very focused on reducing or creating a carbon neutral manufacturing process with carbon neutral products. And Cobalt now for a couple of years have been a certified carbon neutral manufacturer. This machine is a low energy machine that generates no waste. So it's a machine that's designed to work with a lineless self-adhesive material, no backing paper. This material is also a carbon neutral paper, direct thermal paper, manufactured by a company in Denmark called Raflatac, who we're in partnership with. And this material will process through the machine. We'll print it activating the chemical to generate the print, cut it in real time and apply it onto the product.
All in one movement, and like you say, with no liner paper kind of wastage afterwards.
No wastage afterwards. I'll show you running.
Come in here, take a look-see, because this is where the action is. Let me just come around the back and come around here. There we go. So, just talk us through the action that we're seeing here again, Tony.
So we're bringing the direct thermal lineless material through the print head. We're printing the information by activating the chemical within the surface of the paper, and then we're cutting the label to size before applying it onto the product. This would typically be going onto the side of a cardboard box because it's a paper label.
I'll press pause on that.
Yep.
There we go. And that is safe. So what I'm going to do is just take that off.
There is something that's quite critical about this. You notice we're printing the label in this direction. You should always print barcodes in what's called a picket fence orientation. And of course, with these types of applications, it's much easier to do it the other way. The problem with doing it the other way is you start with a lower quality of barcode, you drastically reduce the printhead life, you increase the maintenance you have to apply to the machine. That is also the recommended way by GS1, and we are a GS1 compliant manufacturer. That's the correct way to do it. So every system you see on this stand, it's only ever printed with the correct standard.
Good to know. The other thing that I just wanted to point out here is that I know we've got a few stacked up back to back there, but the quality of this label, it's not one of those, because I wet my finger and I was trying to see if I could get that barcode off, just to see if by the time that's been through the post, for example, or on the back of a delivery van, whether that's going to start to come off. That's pretty solid. That ain't going anywhere, is it?
And it's designed for long life.
Yeah. And that's different to, as we were saying before we went live, that's different to some of the receipts, the thermally printed receipts you get in supermarkets.
Yeah, it's really very important to differentiate this material from the common direct thermal paper that we see in receipt printing in supermarkets. Yeah. That is designed for short life. In effect, it's only got to last as long as it takes you to get your shopping home. This has got to go on products and be able to sustain its identity for a good 12 months, 2 years as a minimum.
Yeah. So sustain its identity and be sustainable as well. I'm going to do the right thing and put that in the bin down here. You've got another embodiment of this sustainable vision that you have with this system right at the end here. If we've got time, I'm sure we can quickly just come and take a look at this. We're a bit more continuous here, aren't we, Tony?
Yes. Yeah. Of course, in any manufacturing process, it's all about the efficiency of manufacturing. And the last thing that most companies want is line stoppage. So the idea of, a lot of the systems we put out and have been putting out for the last 20 years into the major manufacturers are continuous operation. Quite simply, the idea is the line doesn't have to stop for media replenishment. But equally, it's not just about not stopping the line, it's about making sure that every label that's printed, it meets the required quality standard, and every label that's applied to the product is also applied correctly and not damaged in any way.
Every label counts.
Every single label counts. So on this, if I give you an example, if I run the machine, you can see we're printing the labels.
Oh, yeah, we can just see them coming through.
Yeah. Now,
This is a different printing technology that we're looking at compared with the machine we were seeing a moment ago.
yeah, this machine is showing ribbon and it's using pneumatics, but you can also have that same lineless, low energy system in a continuous operation format. I'm just going to fool the machine now just for a moment. I'm going to hide the scanner and you can see it stopped. Now, it stopped because it identified a poor label. So it's still got the label here, so I'll take that label off the pad.
Just got it. There we go.
You can see. So you have to imagine that was a poor quality label. But fundamentally, the idea of not putting a bad label on the product is it's easier to identify a product without a label than identify a product that's got a bad label.
And of course we can see on the screen there, it's verification scanner error. It's telling you what's going on basically.
It's telling you exactly what's going on. The idea, of course, of this validation is that this would identify that there is no label on the product. So the idea being that any fault of any sort that occurs with the primary machine, it's detected by this vision system, and if I just pull that across to fool it, this should have, sorry, let me just
There we go.
put this into run mode. So if I pretend that this is not identifying a product, that should resume printing. Unfortunately, for some reason it hasn't.
We love a live demo on the show. But actually, just one thing that does demonstrate, just going back to the system we were looking at a moment ago, is wastage. And it's this backing paper that you, with the other system, would eliminate. And as you say, you would be able to use that other system on this line here as well. So you would effectively not have that wastage.
So I'm sorry that didn't cut in. I'll check why in a minute. But fundamentally, in a real life situation, we have a second validation over here. And the idea being that if all else fails, so the whole system has failed to deliver a correct result, if I pull that across, you'll see that immediately stops alarm.
There we go. And that's where we want to be with a demo, isn't it? Good stuff. Tony, before we start to wrap up, tell me, PPMA Show 2023, what are you hoping to achieve this year? What are you hoping to leave your visitors to your stand with?
Well, I think we've got a strong message, as always, that's about us continuing to be innovative in the solutions. None of our customers are bound by the product only that we make. We have a flexibility which we have to apply probably 90% of the time because we design and manufacture everything in Crewe at the moment, moving shortly, but in Crewe. Customers can have pretty much what they want, so it's quite normal for probably 90% of our customers to have anything up to 30% of the system bespoke to their production line and their environment. And we can do that because we do it all in-house. We're moving to a location called Wardle, just outside Nantwich.
Very, very close.
Well, we're having to move because we've outgrown the building we're in. So we have another purpose-built building, 3 times the size of where we are. And that's also allowing us to bring more of the component manufacturing in-house, which just basically goes further in enhancing the efficiency of manufacture and the flexibility and response time to customers, especially where they have a bespoke element. So there's a real effort, and it's a world-class manufacturing area that will encourage partners and customers alike to come and visit, so they can see their projects from start to finish.
The Crewe area has a rich heritage, like you say, in manufacture, and Nantwich is just around the corner, which makes it fantastic news that you're staying in the area as far as your workforce is concerned, for your workforce, but also for you and your ability to retain those skills.
And the companies that work for us, so we have a large base of manufacturing companies that do plastic injection moulding, rubber coating, fabrication weld, paint, that sort of thing. They're all Northwest based, and that's been deliberate, but that's been designed by the company for a long period now. I mean, we're now in our 27th year, so we've been around for a while, and continuing to grow internationally as well as obviously nationally.
Well, congratulations on the expansion. Thank you for coming back to join us here at PPMA Show this year. Really enjoying the look of the new products as well.
It's important. We always generate new business from PPMA. That's the reason we come back. You know, we meet a lot of people. It's very helpful. People like to come on and see machines. So, you know, that's the reason we're here.
And we're pleased you are. Tony, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Cheers.